Thank you. Thank you for being so patient. You're still here after so many hours of catharsis and story and innovation and failure and success. Thank you so much for still being here for us. You know, many years ago, the great world music pioneer, Hijaz Mustafa, he said this very enigmatic statement. He said, 4/5 of the world cannot be wrong. 4/5 of the world cannot be wrong. What was he talking about? Well, he was talking about music. He was talking about Western music. Western music, 1/5 of the world, actually. We have a very special kind of music here in our part of the world. It's based on harmony. It's based on chords. It's based on songs with a beginning, a middle, and an end. And these songs sometimes modulate from one whole chord to another. And, you know, this really isn't how much of the world's music is put together. 4/5 of the world has music that's based on rhythm. Rhythm that just kind of goes. Rhythm that maybe has been here since the beginning of time. Rhythm that maybe has no beginning and no end. Rhythm is that part of music that makes us want to move, it makes us want to join in, it makes us want to be part of this whole history. And, you know, when you look at the world's music and the world's possibilities in rhythm, nowhere else are they more strong and developed and deep as in India.
So my first exposure to music was in the form of bhajan. And so what bhajan is a spiritual form of music in India. And so a lead singer will sing a verse of a song, and she'll be followed by the audience who will repeat what she sang, and she's accompanied by a tabla player with this instrument and a harmonium player. And so oftentimes when I was sitting in these bhajans, I would see people go into these states of elevation. Some people were in ecstasy, some people were in bliss, and some people were even in trance. And so after becoming a student of Indian classical music, I found that Indian classical music is very spiritual in nature. And so the first mention of rhythm in Indian philosophy is in the Samaveda, which is a scripture that dates back to 1200 BC. And so what it says is that the universe was derived from a single vibration, the Om. And so what this means is that the rhythm that perpetuates the universe and creation is the Om. So that's what the Samaveda says. And so this relates very deeply to bhajan, because in bhajan, the themes are love, unity, and ultimately liberation. And liberation can be defined as merging with creation. And so the purpose of a tabla player in a bhajan is to create a rhythm, a steady rhythm, that allows the audience to experience a level of equal-mindedness and eventually a state of transcendence and a degree of liberation, or to sum it up, experience the Om. And so I've worked also professionally as a DJ, and so what I've seen is the evolution of creating music physically with your hands to creating it with machines and modulating using drum sequencers and electronic control surfaces. So together we've put together a team to sort of bridge this gap between the ancient form of Indian music and tabla playing and modern electronics. So Matthew will talk a little bit about what he's doing.
Thanks, Kabir. From the standpoint of the Western ear, the striking thing about tabla and its Indian relatives is its deep fusion of pitch, rhythm, and timbre. Very rarely do you get a drum that plays tones, pure notes like this. Turn you up. And it's very reactive under the finger. That's the timbre part. So it's sort of like a two-dimensional guitar string. That's a good way to describe the head of the tabla. And the goal of this software, I'm calling it Tablatune, is to honor and augment these traits rather than using one-size-fits-all effects, because that's the main technology. Those heads are a technology that Western manufacturing hasn't really begun to approach. So, a little demo here. We can retune the tabla. the rhythmic aspect of it. But beyond that, we can also use chordal information from the tabla. And we can even add some jingle effects, just for fun. David?
Thank you, Matthew. So this is actually very hard to do. It might sound easy, but it's very difficult to connect these different cultures, these different sides of the world, ways of thinking about rhythm and harmony and timbre, because they're completely different paradigms of music. But we're trying to figure it out. Many people are trying to figure it out, how to connect different views of what music can be, the East and the West, the 4/5 and the 1/5, the developed world and the developing world, how these different cultures can connect. And I think we're going to try and connect all these things for you right now. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks a lot.
TEDxNJIT, another year. Kabir Mitra on the tabla. Matthew Aidekman on the Tabla-tune. Thanks a lot.